The season is just about done, and we have one more week, which I think you and I believe that they're going to be playing still.
Yeah.
Even if they don't, I don't think there's much that's going to change in the perspective of this topic is who is the NFL's MVP? Okay, who do you think the MVP of the NFL is?
So this, to me, was just the most obvious thing after, this past week. And it's Jalen Hurts by a mile. Jalen Hurts, the 2 games that he's been gone, the Eagles do not look the same. Now, here's one of the things I will say. Gardner Minshew has looked good. He's looked decent. But he is a really good backup quarterback. And I do not think that he is a franchise quarterback, nor a starting quarterback that's going to lead you to the playoffs. The only reason why I say that is because there's actually a graphic that I've seen go around Instagram and Twitter where, Gardner Minshew is one of the potential quarterbacks to be on the Raiders next season, which I hope not. I don't think that that's going to do anything for the Raiders. So I'm just
no, please, no.
I'm just putting that out there. He is a reliable backup, serviceable quarterback.
Yeah.
That does not mean that we need him starting 18 games of the season to push for the playoffs. No, I don't think that that's going to work. So anyways, I think that this has basically solidified Jalen Hurts, in my opinion, as the NFL's MVP. Again, and I will just repeat, the 2 games that he has been gone, the Eagles have not looked like the same offense, have lost both games. One of them was a divisional opponent. And another one that just happened was a very winnable game against the Saints, who haven't been having the greatest year. And Gardner Minshew could not get through that defense. They picked him off. He had costly turnovers. Now, would Jalen Hurts had a clean game? No. But I do think that his rushing presence would have changed the dynamic of that defense to where they would have been more vulnerable to the explosive offense. So I do think that Jalen Hurts has solidified himself as the NFL MVP. Not only has he demonstrated improvement in passing, and it does help that he has A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith to throw it to, but he's also a heck of a rusher, man. Like, quarterback sneak galore. He sees a hole, he exploits it, he scores touchdowns at will, essentially, and he's gotten the Eagles looking like arguably the best team in the NFL, not just the AFC, but in the NFL, because my dream matchup would be the Eagles and the Chiefs. I think that would be a very fun Super Bowl, and I think the Eagles, there's really nobody in the NFC that I can think of if the Eagles are at their full power who could really get in the way of the Eagles. And that's including San Francisco, in my opinion. So that's who I think is the NFL MVP, is Jalen Hurts. Drew, who do you think?
I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes. I know you're expecting Micah Parsons, but I feel like Micah Parsons he's had a really great year. I think for sure he's probably going to be Defensive Player of the Year, in my opinion. But I think the last few weeks that haven't been on here, or we haven't talked about MVP, I feel like he's kind of trailed off just a little bit, or at least that defense has. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go with Mahomes. Listen, I understand going with Jalen Hurts, and it's 100% right. Without Jalen Hurts, we're seeing exactly what happens. But I think if you did the same thing with the Chiefs, I think you would notice how big of a factor Patrick Mahomes really is. And the reason I say that is this. Jalen Hurts added one of the best receivers in the game in A.J. Brown. They have Devontae Smith with the second year now, who's looked really good. Dallas Goedert has been a good tight end for a few years now. That defense has gotten better. This is the first year that Jalen Hurts has had the same same coach, so that definitely helps. So he's definitely in the right system. With the Chiefs, they kind of went the opposite way. They kind of went, okay, we're going to get rid of our best receiver, we're going to get rid of our best defender. We're gonna add Juju Smith, who's literally not done a thing in Pittsburgh since his rookie year. We're going to just go with a bunch of no-name guys. We're going to switch out like 4 different running backs all year long. And we're going to see how Mahomes does with that. And not only has he done a phenomenal job at that, I think he's earned himself the MVP. I think Patrick Mahomes is, in my opinion, the best football player in the league right now. I think he is the absolute notorious GOAT right now for the NFL. This guy, I don't know if he's ever going to, get to 7 championships. As a fan of football, I hope we at least see him get close, because I would love to see a Michael Jordan, LeBron James type debate with Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady, because most people are going to want to say Patrick Mahomes because he's not really easily hateable. I think everyone just always makes fun of his voice, and that's about it, or makes fun of his family. Tom Brady, everyone hates him. Like, everyone hated him. Now all of a sudden he's kind of become likable, but I think like this year in particular, a lot of people are like, I don't know, is he really that good? Which is kind of a dumb thing to say in the first place anyway. But anyway, I would love to see that as a football fan. And listen, I love watching Patrick Mahomes. I think he's phenomenal to watch. So why would I not want to continue to watch that? As a Raider fan, of course, I want to see him, fail and, retire early, but I don't think he will. And, I think I'm more of a football fan than anything else. So, and I like watching greatness. Like, I've always been that kind of person. I like watching Tom Brady when everyone was hating him. I loved Peyton Manning. I don't think anyone hated Peyton Manning. But you know what I mean? Like, I just like watching all the greats do what they do. And even just because they're not part of my team doesn't mean I can't respect it. So,
yeah.
Anyway, so that's my honest opinion. I don't hate the Jalen Hurts. I don't want you to think I'm like, Jalen Hurts sucks. I can't, but no, he's definitely, if he won MVP, I wouldn't be mad. I just think Patrick Mahomes probably is a little more deserving, just because they kind of went the opposite way of the Eagles went. Which actually would have been funny if the Eagles ended up getting Tyreek Hill. That would have been kind of funny, because then you could be like, we could compare the two. Look at what his numbers were with Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes. But luckily we don't have to do that. So, but yeah, I would say Mahomes.
Here's a funny thing though. Jalen Hurts has okay. I think this is where I'm actually proving your argument a little bit. But I will still hold true that it's Jalen Hurts, just because I think that there's no doubt that Patrick Mahomes is a talent, and I think Jalen Hurts has been questioned on whether or not he can get it done, and if he's a quarterback. And I think the fact that in year 3 he's taken this much of a step and not wasted the talent of AJ Brown. If anything, AJ Brown has become it seems like a more lethal threat now in the Eagles offense, with Jalen Hurts throwing him the ball. Jalen Hurts, I believe, if I'm going to check some stats real quick, Patrick Mahomes has thrown for 40 passing touchdowns up to today. Okay. Now, Jalen Hurts, not nearly as much, I will say. He's only thrown 22, but he's also rushed for 13 touchdowns. Yeah. That is tied for 3rd overall amongst all runners, which is impressive. However, this is where what I'm going to say is probably validating your argument a little bit, is Patrick Mahomes has more passing touchdowns than Jalen Hurts has total touchdowns. And, and again, I'm not trying to slight at Jalen Hurts, but I'm just validating it. Yeah.
And how many rushing touchdowns does Mahomes have?
4.
Yeah.
He has 4. So, but needless to say, though, I think then the topic is, what do you think is more surprising? Patrick Mahomes still throwing for 40 touchdowns, or Jalen Hurts having this much success in year 3 with the Eagles? Because again, just last season, and I'll even say his rookie season when he was drafted by the Eagles, there was a lot of question marks if he's even capable of leading. So I think the fact that he's even here, we're at that point where Patrick Mahomes, this could be, second of multiple MVPs on top of MVPs that he will probably win throughout his career. But again, I think if there's no better player that should be in the conversation, I think it is Patrick Mahomes.